Hey there everybody, how's it going? My name is Nova Aurora, bringing you another Battlefield 4 gameplay commentary today. I've got a round of Conquest on Operation Locker here, and this was actually the first Battlefield 4 round that I'd ever played where I was using a shotgun as my primary for the entirety of the round. So I decided I wanted to talk a little bit about shotguns in a video. Throughout FPS and especially Battlefield history, shotguns have definitely been a point of contention. There's been a lot of debate as to whether they're too overpowered or too underpowered or just right or whatever. There's a lot of differing opinions about them. And what I've found, of course, I've been primarily a Battlefield player, so I can only speak for the Battlefield franchise, but what I've found is that usually they are neither overpowered nor underpowered, but they have a very specific use. Obviously, they are a aggressive, close-range weapon, and they limit your play style to usually a very aggressive, taking the point, quick-moving, reactive playstyle where reactive as in you have to have quick reaction times, not reactive as in you have to react to what the enemy is doing. And a lot of people might not like to play that way, or they might think that people can take advantage of that because it doesn't take as much skill and maybe mental energy to harness the power of the one-hit kill shotgun instead of a regular assault rifle or something like that. And I admit that I really do favor shotgun sort of gameplay. I like taking the point. I like being a very aggressive, in-your-face sort of player, and having that capacity for a one-hit kill in a really quick reaction situation without having to spend a whole lot of time lining up my shot and getting into a long-range gunfight, because I want to be able to keep moving and get to my next location as quickly as possible. So this brings me to sort of the overarching topic of this video, which is weapon theory, as I like to call it, and specifically applied to shotguns. Weapon theory, in my mind, is basically for each specific weapon and weapon class, there is a predetermined idea of how you're supposed to use that weapon. Shotguns are very close range, sniper rifles are very long range, SMGs and assault rifles are sort of in the middle, and then each individual weapon, based on its recoil and fire rate and damage, has its own sort of theory as to how you're supposed to use that. Now, I've noticed that in switching from console to PC, the weapon theory for shotguns, which normally seems like it would be a very simple one, you know, you basically run up at the enemy and try to get as close as possible and shoot them, is actually different. Because on console, where you don't have as precise control over your aiming, and at least I had a much worse connection than an internet connection than I do on PC, I had to be a lot more reckless with the shotgun when I got into a gunfight. I had to sort of flail around as quickly as I could, slam the analog sticks to the sides of the controller, and sort of just pray that my shot was going to hit the target, because I knew that if I didn't get that first shot right on target and I didn't drop the enemy as quickly as I could, it was likely that I was going to get dropped either by his random flailing or because of my connection not being as strong as I would like it to be. However, on PC, I find that I have to be a lot more precise with my shots. I can't get away with just flailing in the direction of an enemy and hoping that I hit them, because on PC you can be just as quick. In fact, you can be a lot quicker than you can on consoles, but if you miss that first shot, it is a whole lot easier for your enemy to get on target and to drop you with one shot of his own. So, whereas on console, I could, maybe if I missed that first shot, hope that the enemy also missed his because you're using analog sticks instead of a mouse. I can't do that on PC. I have to be very, very precise with all of my shots and yet maintain that quick thinking mouse movement and just really, really quick thinking in general to be successful with it. And as you've undoubtedly been seeing in this footage so far, that can be a challenge for me, because even though I'm used to close-range gunfighting, and even though I'm used to getting up in the face of enemies, I am not used to having to be precise and quick like that at the same time. And there's a lot of moments in this footage where I completely derp out and just sort of flail in the direction of the enemy because I'm used to thinking, okay, if I can just scare him, if I can just suppress him enough, then I can freak him out and get to where I need to be in the gunfight. And that doesn't work. So instead, as you see right here in this little part of the footage, what I've learned to do, even though I'm still very much a noob at one-shot weapons in general, and especially shotguns on PC, is create my own situations that are advantageous to me. And I never really thought about that before playing on consoles, I suppose. I thought about it a little bit intuitively, because just through playing and gaining experience as a player, you just naturally begin to develop those trains of thought. But here, I think it's a great example of how I know that there's no way I can win these gunfights unless I bring the enemy to me. So what I do is I set up behind a pillar like this, drop a health pack, and dance around enough to get them to come to me without killing me, so that once they are within range, I am prepared for them because I know exactly where they are, and I'm able, because of my shotgun, to drop them instantly. I don't have to mess around with anything. I've done the messing around and getting them to come to me, and sort of hiding behind the pillar. Honestly, it is hiding, basically, as sad as that sounds, but it works. I've done the work to get them to come to me, and it's a very successful way of defending a point or attacking a certain area that when you don't have to blitzkrieg right in there and make a, if it's not a desperate situation, if you can afford to take it slower. And I know taking it slow with a shotgun, it sounds incredibly oxymoronic, but like I was saying earlier, to be a successful shotgunner, you cannot just go up and randomly flail at things. Even though it looks like some of the really, really good players, that's sort of what they do, is they run up into the faces of enemies and automatically drop them, no matter where they're looking. In fact, they're not just automatically dropping them because shotguns are overpowered, or that's how you're supposed to play, or that automatically happens. They're doing it because they can make very quick and very precise movements. And that takes a lot of mental energy and physical capabilities to pull that off. And personally, I am not quite there yet. So what I'm trying to do is create as much luck and advantage for myself as possible when using a shotgun by placing myself strategically within cover, behind cover, so that they can only shoot me from a certain angle, making it so that if I am using a weapon like the shotgun, that they can only come from one side, and they only have one little area they can head towards, because that one little area is where I'm going to shoot them in. And I find that it's actually a lot of fun to have to think about that stuff and to challenge myself to figure out how to adapt to a different weapon like that. I'm sort of going off topic here, I suppose, but I think it's worth saying, if you want to really get good at a game like Battlefield, or any first-person shooter in general, you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone at least a little in terms of what kinds of weapons you use and tactics you utilize, because you're never going to be prepared for everything if you're only skilled in, say, sniping from long range or using a generic assault rifle. You want to be able to come into a map like Operation Locker where it's very close range and be able to use a shotgun effectively, but then be able to go into a larger map and also be able to be combat effective there. And that's a skill that you just have to develop and pick up naturally as your play improves and as you gain more experience as a player. And I guess the final point I'd like to make here with that, then, is that that's what I'm going through right now, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm enjoying this period of growth, and boy, that sounded incredibly cliche. But I'm enjoying this, and as you can see, I did pretty well with the shotgun. I didn't do amazing with it, but I did pretty well. I got MVP in the game, and our team got the win. So anyway, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and a comment. And as always, I will see you all next time.